Cornyn. Senator Blackburn.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Ms. Argentieri, am I saying that right?
You are.
Thank you very much. I want to talk a little bit about sexual abuse in the workplace. And recently, Senator Gillibrand and I led on a piece of legislation that President Biden signed, the Speak Out Act. And this legislation would prohibit the use of pre-dispute NDAs in the case of workplace sexual harassment. But I think that that's a good step. It's a good first step. I think there is more that needs to be done in order to make certain that workplaces are safe for women and that they are functioning without the trauma and the drama that comes with that type of harassment. So I'd like to hear what DOJ is doing to ensure that workplaces are transparent and safer.
Thank you for your question. So the department shares your concerns about making sure that individuals feel safe in the workplace, and that there are mechanisms for individuals to speak out, to be protected, and we are committed to having a safe workplace environment. As to what we're specifically doing, I can get back to you about that in writing.
I would like to know that, and I think we've seen other federal agencies that have a history of not producing that safe workplace. I want to talk with you about crime, and you and I spoke a little bit about this before the hearing, and we have seen a lot of crime here in D.C. We've talked a little bit about Memphis and the crime that is there, and I know that you all have a unit that is going to be working with the city of Memphis in order to address the crime situation. And as I was looking at this, I saw and going through DOJ's funding priorities, and we learn a lot about what's important to you by looking at these funding streams. And you all sought $300 million for the Accelerating Justice System Reform Initiative. Now, this is something that is reimagining public safety, and that is a quote that is on DOJ's website. What people want is safe communities and safe cities. They want their children to be safe. They want to see you all get behind violent crime. So why would you put $300 million into reimagining public safety when what you're hearing from communities is you got to get in behind this and do something about it today?
So there is no higher priority for the department than keeping the American people safe. And we are committed to reducing violent crime, to making sure that people are safe in their neighborhoods, in their homes, when they're walking their children to school. I'm very proud of the work the criminal division is doing in this space. We have two different violent crime initiatives right now, one in Houston, one in Memphis, which were cities that were initially selected because of a rise in violence. And so, but the initiative is holistic and different.
All right, let me jump in on that with you. But at the same time, we've got 72 million Americans, the city of Memphis being one, where you have DAs that are soft on crime, that have been backed by Soros and some of his initiatives. And we see the same thing happening. You've talked about two of these cities. So what are you doing with these DAs, with these prosecutors that go below sentencing guidelines, or they are not holding kids that are under 18, teens that are out here committing these carjackings and these smash and grabs? So these are policies. You all have to have an opinion on these policies. And I think it's confusing to us that You say you're going to do this, but then you don't step forward and really go for what is necessary to make these communities safe.
So I'm so glad that you asked this question, because we really are stepping forward, and it's not just with prosecutions. So for an example, the violent crime initiative I described, we're using data to identify the worst of the worst offenders that are driving violence in these communities. But we're also going into the communities to build trust and relationships, to teach them about the grants that are available to help people who are reentering the community reenter safely, to have the supports that they need to be successful. It is like a whole of community approach, that rehabilitation, reentry. So it's not just prosecuting.
My time is expired. Let's visit separately about that. And thank you for being here today.
Thank you.
Senator Klobuchar.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I'll start with you,